I love strikers, you love strikers. Let's play free up top and score loads of goals. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Gib Show with me, Andrew, and this is a tactics test with 4-3-3 with 3 strikers. I love it. So, I wasn't enjoying the beta with Atalanta, it was a bit shit. The game's a bit broken, so I went, fuck it, I'm going to go and set up like a journeyman, Pentagon, start unemployed, all that stuff. Ended up in Indonesia with Persik Kediri. Took over them when they were in 11th, and as you will see there, we finished 3rd in the league. And I've been playing, I was like, I'm going to go 4-3-3, and at first I was playing an inside forward on the left, and then a poacher with a DLF just to the right, like off centre. And I wasn't getting much out the inside forward, moved him up front, and I played around with the roles. And at one point I had like a false 9, and I had pressing forward on the right. And what I settled on was the DLF in the middle, dropping down, the poacher on the sort of right of centre, not on the right wing, but on the right of the axis, and I pressing forward on the left. And I was playing centre mid on attack, and Mazzala, wing backs, and it just worked. And don't have the best players in Indonesia, but season 2, champions. 26 wins, which is a league record. 1 goal behind the most goals scored in the league ever. The most points for Kediri, most wins for Kediri. Only lost 3 games, scored 81. So that's what, 15 ahead of the next team. And only conceded 28 as well. 28 and 34. For Indonesia, where a 5'5" goalkeeper is considered an A signing. Nope. I thought maybe it's a fluke. Maybe it's a fluke and it's just worked as Indonesia. But no, let's do a tactics test. So we ran it with the 4 teams that are going to be the constant through this campaign. So we're going to have Chelsea and Brentford in the Premier League, and Sheffield United and Peterborough in the Championship. It gives us a wide range of favourites, promotion candidates, relegation candidates, and I think Brentford are kind of like a mid-team, mid-level, mid to lower team in the Premier League with the players they've got. Well, then everyone gets a score, and also you can see how many goals they've scored, how many points they got total, and the score at the end. This is the tactic. It is a 4-3-3. We'll go through the positions and the instructions. So it's goalkeeper on defend, because it's Indonesia. I was like, just let them do simple things, no messing around. We've got a fullback on attack with no instructions, and that's kind of key because everything is really basic out. Because you don't want players at that level with too much in their head, don't want them to expect too much, so let's simplify it down. Then we have a centre-back on defend, and the other centre-back on defend as well. On the left with the centre-mid on attack on that side, I've gone for the full-back on support with no instructions. Originally I had this as a DLP on defend, but the passing range isn't good, so let's put him on a DM. Still pass the ball, but get it to the 2 in front of him. That's where the key is. So it's a defensive mid on defend there. Then we have the Mazzala on support on the right of the midfield too. Then we have the centre mid on attack. On this side, I've got a left-footed Brazilian in Indonesia, and I've got him on cross more often because when he gets wide into those channels, I want him pinging balls to the back post because that's where your poacher is on that right-hand side. Then we've got the pressing forward on attack, and he is marking the opposition's right back so that you don't get overloaded in defence. So he's helping out down that channel. Then in the middle we've got the false 9. So he drops back, he creates, he dribbles, like he's kind of given that free rein. It makes it a bit of a diamond at some points. So we're letting him roam, letting him do what he wants. And then on the right of the attack we've got the poacher, and he's coming in off that off the wing kind of and getting into the back post, and he was just causing havoc. He is in Indonesia, 6'4" Brazilian, but other players scored there as well. It is an attacking mentality because I went cautious, and in Italy I thought, fuck it, let's take it to these teams and see how it goes, and it'll be interesting to see how it does in England with the same mentality. So we're playing fairly wide, passing into space to get the ball ahead of those front 3. We're going through the middle because that's where our midfield is. Slightly shorter passing, higher tempo, we're working the ball into the box, we're being a bit more patient, and we're letting them have that bit of expressiveness in the final third. In transition, it is the Gingham press, counter press and counter. Why not? And this was when I made this, it was a sort of anti-Italy, anti what I'd seen in the beta. Let's just go for it and let's just see if it works. We've got the keeper distributing quickly. We're moving out to the flanks. You've got the fullbacks and the forwards, and the two midfielders go wide as well. Out of possession, we've got a higher defensive line and just a higher line of engagement. Let them come out a little bit. We're forcing the opposition inside into the three midfielders, the two centre backs, forcing them away. And we all saw how prevalent the crossing was in this game. So it was just trying to take that away from the opposition. And we are pressing more often. So that's the tactic. Shall we see how it got on? Chelsea, champions of England. 88 points, won by 2 points. Lukaku there with 30 goals. And you can see Brentford, 53 points, came 10th with Ivan Toney, the third highest scorer in the Premier League. Lukaku on a 7.88. We'll look at see where he played. He's either going to be the poacher or the pressing forward. It's interesting because the pressing forward in Indonesia was the Indonesian forward, was not very good and didn't do great. And I wondered if it was the position or was it the player. So we'll find out how he got on or whether he was a poacher, same with Ivan Toney. Competitions wise, runner-up of the Super Cup, quarterfinals of the Champions League, beaten 6-3 by Dortmund on aggregate, and that finished 0-0 the first leg. And they did the double, 2-1 over Liverpool in the FA Cup final. Reece James with a goal, Mount and Saul. It's interesting, Reece James, because I had this Indonesian kid got 10 goals for me in the league and just kept scoring absolute bangers. So when they see James doing it as well. Squad-wise, Lukaku, 45 goals in 64 games, 13 assists. Timo Werner with 32 in 10 assists, 32 goals. Havertz, 13 and 13. Reece James, 11 and 18. Mason Mount with 19 assists. So where did Lukaku play? There we go, Lukaku playing as the pressing forward. And then Timo Werner playing as the poacher got 32 and 47. So that little duo worked really well. And it was Kai Havertz playing as the false nine most of the time. And this was so in Indonesia is a Santiago Gonzalez, an Argentine forward. He finished in my top scorer in the league as the false nine. So it just shows this depends on the player. It's not always dependent on the position as well. It's what the player's got in his traits and his attributes that really determines what that position does as well. Quick look at the data hub. So 2.45 goals per game, excellent. 20 shots, which is excellent. And the defence, there's only around 1 goal conceded per game. That's really good for a tactic where you're just going for it. So we saw Brentford came 10th, which is excellent for them. Ivan Toney, 28 goals. Knocked out of the FA Cup in the 5th round. Carabao Cup 2nd round by Plymouth Argyle. Let's ignore that. We've got Ivan Toney, 28 goals, 6 assists. Brian and Buemo, 12 and 12. Mads Roorslav, the right back with 10 assists, only 1 goal. So it's not like a cheat tactic where right backs are going to score. It's just happens to be the players, doesn't it? Reece James and my Indonesian Roberto Carlos doing the job. 1.92 goals per game, again excellent, 17 shots. The conceded's a bit higher, means double, isn't it? And that could be due just to players and your kind of gung-ho mentality of this tactic. Sheffield United promoted in second, only 2 points behind Bournemouth, but 16 ahead of Blackburn. Lys Mousset, 26 goals. Him and George Baldock killing the average ratings. Awesome season for Sheffield United. Peterborough, 6th. They're predicted 21st. And I've done some tests where they've been relegated. So 73 points, 6 means playoffs. Beaten in the playoff final by West Brom. That's a great effort from Peterborough. That's amazing. Let's look at Brentford's numbers. 27-5 from Mousset, 18-4 from Ryan Brewster, George Baldock 13 assists, over Norwood 12 assists, 2.2 goals per game, brilliant, 18 shots again, excellent, and the defence conceded below 1, that's what we want. Sammy Smodic's Peterborough's top scorer, 18 goals, 4 assists. Jack Marriott, 12 and 14's excellent. George Grant, 12 assists. Some good numbers there from Peterborough, really good numbers. Then 1.78 goals per game. The conceded is higher than Chef U, but it's not as high as what Brentford went to in the kind of contrast in the lower level teams. 16.6 shots per game. So if you go over to footballmanagerstory.com, it's where I'll be writing this season on FM, and kind of putting some videos on there as well. You will see how some of these tests match up with other ones. So you may have seen the Is Gegenpress Dead video. It still has the highest score. But Indo Ball, the 4-3-3, has had the most points. So that's all the league points combined of the 4 teams. It's the most goals scored. Slightly more goals conceded than the Is Gegenpress Dead, but still did better than the old death by XG tactic from last year. And it scored a really good score, 115.6, just behind Is Gegenpress Dead. And then we're going to see through the year how those scores mark up. I'm not going to bore you with the details as to how they're all marked, but they're all marked the same. And that's why I put the league points and the goals scored there as well, so you can see how they match up against each other. Go on there, you get links to the tactics, you'll get video links and all explanations and stuff like that, all the other tests we do on the site and on these videos. So that will do us for this tactics test. This is the Indo Bali 4-3-3 goals. Doesn't concede loads as you'd think it would, and just works. And I also ran it through a test with Atletico Madrid last night just to see, and they came second in La Liga by a point. Most goals scored, fewest conceded, goals for all 3 forwards. It works, and this is not on the beta, this is on the new patch 21.1. This tactic works. Download it, let me know how you get on, enjoy, because it just creates havoc. And I'm looking forward to getting back to Indonesia and seeing how I get on in the Asian Champions League with this, because fuck it, why not? It's a game, isn't it? So enjoy the tactic, let me know how you get on. From me, Andrew, thanks for watching, drop a like on it. Bye for now.